exchanging their love. And also they are one soul, but they have become two to eternally exchange loving feelings. And if we meditate about this very, very deeply, we come to feel that they are permeating the whole universe and that they are the source of all life and of all love that is existing and that will ever be. And also, Baba says that this self-manifest sweet forms of Radha and Mohan will automatically become to the pure-hearted meditator out of sheer grace. So these are very, very encouraging and very promising statements. It's not that I can press the mercy. It's not that I have to artificially try to be someone who I am not, but become the soul that is completely immersed in the loving exchange of Radha Mohan's meeting and separation leelas and is serving them. And like that, become completely one with the feelings of Srimati Radhika and serving her Mohan. And that is also called Manjari Bhav. And we cannot do anything. We can just pray it. We can immerse and engage my mind and my senses in these meditations. And then automatically it will happen that all transformations will take place. It's not artificial. Because remember, we are the divine spark of love. We are already connected through our soul essence. It's only that we are becoming who we already are in a way. But that is, of course, defined by this goal of one-pointed meditation. So in our case, we are the worshippers of Srimati Radhika, who is the supreme goddess of love, of divine love. And today we want to listen about Guna Dhyan. What is that meditation? Week. Sorry, internet was weak. So, welcome back. Thank you, internet, that you are helping us to connect. So, I was meditating about this all qualities of our Srimati Radhika. She is the goddess of love, and she is actually all the sweetness. That's what is here explained, that meditate on the attributes, on the qualities, on their speciality that will attract us and also will attract all souls. And so Srimati Radhika is sweet. She is so sweet. And I was thinking, just to meditate about the sweetness, it is such a deep point, the sweetness. And I wanted to start by singing that song which describes the sweetness. It's called Madhurashtakam. And then we want to maybe meditate on this, why there's so much sweetness in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual forms of Radha and Mohan. Adaram Maduram Vada Maduram Duram Hridayam Madura Gamanam Madura Madurari Pate Akilam Maduram. So this is explaining how sweet are Krishna's lips, how sweet is his face, his eyes, and his smile. His heart is very sweet, and everything is so sweet in this Lord of all sweetness. So what Baba mentioned, that we are worshippers in the feeling of Madhura Ras. It is the rasa of sweetness. So sweetness is all that Srimati Radhika is made of. And I searched for one verse in Vilap Kushmanjali where this name is given to her. Oh Madhure, sweet girl. And what is that sweetness? Why is Srimati Radhika so sweet? And why is Mohan so sweet? Because when they are glancing at each other, then their love for each other makes them both shine in pure sweetness. Oh Madhure, Ai Madhure, oh sweet girl, how beautiful you are when you are seen by Mohan in the assembly of the elders. Krishna relishes the rice and the vegetable cooked by Radhika like nectar, and he blissfully sends his bee-like eyes out to drink the honey of Radhika's lotus-like face. So Srimati Radhika always makes him more sweet. She is cooking sweets for him. She is looking sweetly at him. And when we are singing this song about Krishna's sweetness, we remember why he is so sweet. Because she is making him more and more sweet all the time. Her looks are so sweet. Her kisses are so sweet. Her touch is so sweet. And her words are so sweet. And our Srimati Radhika is the sweetest singer. She is singing so sweetly that all her words are manifesting whatever Mohan would love to have in their relationship. Every word of Srimati Radhika is full of sweetness. And whenever Mohan is talking about Srimati Radhika and meditating about Sri Radhika, his body becomes more shining and more sweet. So actually, this whole song of Madhurashtakam is about how sweet is Krishna, and to meditate who is his sweetness, who makes him so sweet, who will increase his sweetness by every second, by every look, by every glance, by every word, by every step, by every song, and by every activity that they are sharing together in their loving games, in their sports. And it's our Swamini who makes him sweet. Do you agree, Gurudev? I hope so.
Yes.
Jai Ho! Thank you, Guru. So we were thinking of or praying that you would inspire us, but I don't know, if you don't feel so well, then maybe you cannot talk today, right? So all the sweetness that comes from Madhuram, from Krishna's limbs, from his eyes, all this is from his heart, and we know his heart is Srimati Radhika. So she is this Shakti, she is Mahabhav Svarupini, she is the original source of all that love and that sweetness that emanates from the Lord. Jai Shri Radhe. Srimati Radhika is the source of all sweetness. And that's why she is sweetness personified, not only for Krishna, not only for Mohan, but also for her dasis. Because the dasis, they are also sweetness personified. And they have their sweetness from their beloved Swamini, from Srimati Radhika. And actually, the dasis of Srimati Radhika, they embody different aspects of her sweetness. Like Rupa Manjari, she is the embodiment of the sweetness of the form of Srimati Radhika. And that's why her special name is Rupa Manjari. And that's why also we are the worshippers or the followers of Rupa Goswami or Rupa Manjari, because Rupa Goswami is giving access to our spiritual form by teaching us Abhideya Gyan, that knowledge that we are able to have a spiritual existence and a spiritual body, that we have this as our inheritance as souls who are connected to divine love and divine sweetness of Srimati Radhika, if only we have intense desire to have this connection and to reconnect, so to say, and update our soul consciousness up to our Swarup consciousness. And that is all by the sweetness of the mercy that comes through our Gurudev, through our Guru Parampara, from the lotus feet of Nitai and Gauranga and Janavama and Nityananda. And of course, Radha Mohan. So this is only one small meditation about the sweetness. And we can see how this is guiding us through different things that we have heard, that we have read, that we are singing. And it's, it's not about learning Sanskrit. It's more about learning how to develop the feelings that are behind the songs. Like, because we are the worshippers in Madhura Ras, we are, we want to know the sweetness of Radha and Krishna when they are in their divine embrace, and when they are inviting us to their divine service, and they are inviting us by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this special age to really enter into the deepest chambers of the Goloka Vrindavan planet that is completely beyond all material duality, and which is completely full of sweetness, and where everyone is just loving and serving the Madhura Ras, that sweet relationship, that sweet taste of loving emotions. And that's why it is also important for us to develop these emotions. If we always think in terms of sour grapes and sour, consciousness, then we cannot taste the sweetness. That's why also I am so happy that our Gurudev comes from that line where there's so many sweet ladies who are giving also all these confidential knowledge to their sons, to their daughters. And it's a family line. It's not about being a monk. It's not necessary. Of course, you can be a monk if you feel very inclined towards solitude and living a lifelong, brahmachari life. As we know, also the Gurudev of our Gurudev, Radha Govinda Das Babaji, he was living like that for his whole life. But for him, it was a natural thing. It was not something that he pressed on himself to be like that, to make himself spiritual. No. We have to just be our natural selves and develop our natural sweet attributes and feelings of belonging to the Queen of Sweetness, which is our Srimati Radhika, who is the Queen of the heart of Mohan, and they are increasing their sweetness by loving each other, exchanging love, and inviting all living entities, especially now in this Kali Yuga, back to their spiritual identities and their spiritual home. And I found another verse that is connected to the sweetness of Srimati Radhika. And I know that is one of the favorite verses of our dear Gurudev Sadhu Maharaj. It is from Radharas Sudhanidhi, verse 28. O saintly mind, quickly take shelter of sweet-natured Radha, who is like a grove full of wish-yielding vines, and who reveals a wonderful abundance of powerful Rasika compassion, and who is a deep and unbridled nectar ocean of love. Again, we have about taking shelter of our sweet nature. Radhe, sorry. Some internet challenges.
Nice work.
Good. So yes, we were just talking about Radharas Sudhanidhi, or saintly mind. Quickly take shelter of sweet-natured Radha. And she is revealing a wonderful abundance of powerful Rasika compassion. And she a deep bridled action of in the sweet qualities of Srimati Radhika and all the Vaishnavas, and sees the positive, then it's very difficult to approach the sweet, sweet-natured Radha. So this is what we do first. We meditate about the sweetness. We also try to be our sweetest self as much as possible. That, of course, is also her grace and our Gurudev's grace, that we can become the divine dasis that we are already in a way, but that we have to discover and take off many, many layers of material consciousness. And here Baba says, for attaining her, we do sadhan bhajan. For attaining her, we take a shelter of a guru. At heart, the Gaudiya Vaishnava for Radharani. Hema Gauri Tanurai Ankita Rashana Chai Rodana Koribo Abhilashe. My eyes desire to see the golden formed Radhika, and I cry out of that desire. So that is our goal, that is our prayer, that we can serve sweet-natured Srimati Radhika, that we can take shelter of her sweet attributes, and that also I myself can help myself and others to take shelter of the sweet-natured Srimati Radhika and also become more sweet again and again and again. Sometimes I have to make a decision, and sometimes my mind is a little bit judgmental, and I want to judge, like my male ego says, do this. But then I remember sweet-natured Radhika, and I feel that her compassion is so big, and her compassion is always bigger than any kind of judgments that we would usually do on others or on ourselves. That is in meditation on the sweetness of Srimati Radhika. Would you like to add anything, Gurudev?
Oh, very good. Beautiful.
And sometimes when we are meditating, there's two kinds of meditation. One kind is like in a row, that is also explained later on. It comes like a stream, that's called Svarasiki. And one is called Mantramayi. And Mantramayi is like, it resembles a lake, that you stay in one meditation, like in one place, like on Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, or her nails, or on her fingers, any kind of, steady attribute or limb that we would like to focus on. And then we are chanting with this in our mind, in our heart, and we are meditating on the sweetness and the beauty and how to serve Srimati Radhika's lotus feet, how to massage them, or how to put a ring on the finger. Many possibilities are there. And this, what we did now, this is more like Svarasika. It is a stream. We go from one remembrance to another. Oh, I remember that verse from Radha Sudanidhi. Oh, I remember there was something about her sweetness in Vilap Kushmanjali. Oh, I remember Madhurashtakam. It's all about the sweetness of Mohan. And we know who is the source of his sweetness. It's our Swamini Srimati Radhika. Because she is the source of all sweetness. And even Mohan tries to go deep into that mystery of the sweetness of Srimati Radhika that makes himself so sweet. And we know from that meditation, we understand in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition that the most sweetest avatar that ever came to be and that ever will be is our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we also remember that the great scholars that met him, who were completely into Gyan, and that were completely, dry, because they try to understand the absolute truth with the knowledge and with the head. But they became completely mesmerized by the sweetness of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's dancing, by his crying, by his moving his hands or his whole body. They were mesmerized. And the sweetness that came from the sweetness of Srimati Radhika shining through was making them lose their hearts to Chaitanya. And they all became bhaktas, like Prabhupada Saraswati. We know he was also before Prakashananda, and he was completely into investigating what is Prakash, what is enlightenment. But he became completely overwhelmed and in love with Chaitanya. All we know also about the story of our dear Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. All these devotees that Mahaprabhu was making sweet and sweeter by his own sweetness, which is Srimati Radhika's sweetness. And Srimati Radhika's compassion for all the souls who are ready now to love, just love and become love, and not to try to understand the absolute truth by knowledge or by kind of spiritual absorption, by trying to dig into the, endless ocean of all the Vedas, which can be very confusing because there are also a lot of contradictions. The scriptures are always, very tricky. But then when they saw Mahaprabhu, all these great scholars, they came from the Sri Sampradaya, from the worship of Lakshmi Narayan. And then by his sweetness, Mahaprabhu would make them all melt. They listened to his sweet words, to his sweet katha. And it is a proof, it is a feeling that would catch them, that would make them want to worship Srimati Radhika as her dasi. So let's go on. And the more we meditate on it, isn't it? You feel this week more, like it's contagious. You think, oh, it's sweet. It's all about Radhika's sweetness because she is everywhere. If we feel it, if we are open for it, we can feel her everywhere, and we can also become pure-minded and pure-hearted and discover our own divine sweetness by the mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga. So Srimati Radhika's other attributes are she is of fresh youthfulness. That fresh youthfulness is one of her most attracting attributes because she's always fresh. She's never giving up her hope, praise, her beauty for Mohan. She is never hopeless that she thinks I will not meet him again. And if she is so, then the mantris, her helpers, will help her to have fresh hope, and they always make her attributes that she has already more and more attractive. And that fresh usefulness is very attracting for Mohan. And she is, those who come in contact with servant Srimati Radhika, you will see and you will also feel that they become very fresh and very useful themselves. So we find that with the sadhus who are real, the Radha Dasis, even though they may be in mature bodies, but their eyes and their hearts are shining in ever new freshfulness, because they are in contact with the Swamini. So coming in contact with that fresh youthfulness and serving her in her fresh youthfulness makes us also become younger and younger. Because we come in contact with our eternal souls, in our Swarup, in our eternal love, soul, bodies. So we have to become also fresh and youthful. Because we can become like them. We become innocent, we become youthful, and we also want to serve Srimati Radhika in that way that she always emanates more and more fresh youthfulness. By combing her hair, by dressing her, by putting up makeup, by coming very close to her and putting a nice tilak, and putting the kajal, and putting her nose ring. Like this, we come so close to Srimati Radhika. By these meditations, we can become so close. And with that closeness of our meditation, we also become very deeply absorbed in the eternity of our selves, in our eternal spiritual selves. So, and she has restless eyes. Why are her eyes so restless? Because she always looks, where is my Mohan? She's always very aware that any moment I want to make sure that how can I serve him? How can I cook for him? Or how can I hide myself? She's always in a very excited, restless nature of love. And she is shy also. In that restless eyes, there's also a lot of shyness. It depends on the situation, but her eyes are always moving. She's always very active because she's never like inactive. Her mind, her heart, because she is Krishna Mai, right? Remember that name of Srimati Radhika. She is Krishna Mai. Krishna is inside her and also outside. Because we also know that they are non-different from each other. So whenever she looks, whenever she expresses her feeling through her glances, these glances are also called Radha Kripa Kataksh. These glances, we are hoping to catch one of these glances on our small little souls so that we also may be blessed by Srimati Radhika's restless, sweet eyes. Wherever she looks, she is blessing all of them, who are around her. These are her dasis, her girlfriends, her sakis, and Mohan, and of course, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And she is adorned with a sweet smile. So like this, we are already meditating on Srimati Radhika's beautiful face. She has this sweet smile that is always, always ready to help others also, who are in distress or who are taking shelter of her. She's always very merciful. She's always, in the bliss of Ananda. She's always together with Krishna. Even in her separation, she is having Swapna Vilas, and that makes her smile. She is having dreams about Mohan. She's always surrounded by her dasis who help her smile. And when does she smile the most? When she is meeting her Mohan, her beloved. So the services of a dasi are, of course, and naturally there to make our Swamini smile. We want to help her by making her remember the pastimes and the leelas and the moments with her beloved. Because in the Madhura Ras, the souls are completely immersed in helping each other to feel more and more love. What to speak of serving she who is love personified, who has the highest love, and who is the personification of this highest love. That's Srimati Radhika. She is full of love, and she is inside and outside emanating this love. And that's why her smile is so sweet. And it's very attractive. And the dasis, they are like little shiny fractions of that sweetness of Srimati Radhika. So because that is their eternal nature, they want to make Srimati Radhika feel all the feelings that she would like to feel. So the dasis, they do everything what they can to make her remember when Srimati Radhika is not together with Mohan, how it was when they were meeting the last time. So what do they do to make her smile? They take her hand and they will also massage her hand in the same way as Mohan was touching her when they met the last time. They make everything what they do, every touch, every service, every massage, they will use their own memory of what the last meeting was like to infuse Swamini with all these feelings. And that makes her smile. And she is very happy when the manjaris or the dasis or the souls who are ready for this service now, they come to her. And we remember the sweet smile of our Gurudev, who is also smiling in the same way when the souls are ready now to come, to that elevated service of Srimati Radhika in a very natural way. Not by artificial means of trying to be someone we are not. We don't need to be, a monk, or we don't need to go into the forest. No, by mercy of Shri Guru and Gauranga, we are learning to be here in this world, but also feel Srimati Radhika's love inside and out. And that we try to realize every day with waking up and with falling asleep again. We want to live our whole days in that love, in memory of that love and in worship of that love. And like that, our whole lives will become very, very sweet. And we will be persons who are remembered because they always worship love and they always try to be in that loving service of love. And that makes our Gurudev very happy and all the Vaishnavas very happy, and they will all smile. They will all smile because we are all touched by love and by nothing else.
Saintly mind means the mind has to be saintly. Why? When we are thinking only material thing and influence with the material people, sometimes our mind becomes demoniac. Demoniac means they only want to take something from material world. This is the material nature. So influence of anything we also become like that. If I have many friends who is only thinking for their benefit and they are very close to me, my mind will be not sensory. I will not think to serve others. I will not think to love, give love and service to everyone. Only saintly mind, if I have a desire to make my mind saintly, I want to be a saintly person, then we need service and love. And Radhika is loving to Krishna and teaching. The Krishna is the goal of Radhika. And Sakhi's goal is Krishna. Gopi goal is Krishna to give love. But the Manjari is Radha Dasi love for the Radhika and to serve her because she wants to associate with Radhika because to keep her mind centered.
Mm.
So if you want to learn like Radhika is doing to Krishna, then we have to take center of Radhika. This is centrally mind. We cannot think to be very close to Krishna without Radhika.
Yes, Gurudev. So first develop the saintly mind and to really also check myself what kind of association I have inside and outside and take shelter of the divine love, Srimati Radhika, so that we can really become servants and truly and honestly develop all the saintly qualities that again will connect us with our eternal self.
That is the point. If I have no desire to make my mind centrally, we don't need to do. But if we want my desire is to be, my mind has to be centrally. This is the only way Mahajans are telling, seniors are telling that. Ego can go, false ego can go on if you are centrally by.
Yes.
Centrally mind has no false ego. Always they want to serve us, care us, love us. Why? Because their mind becomes centrally in the association with the Rasikas and Radhadas. Right.
Yes, so that is so nice, Gurudev. The qualities of a saintly mind, we can check. We like to serve. We like to think positive and help others to become, their best selves. That is the kind of loving compassion on myself and on others. And it will be always positive and full of love. And that is the nature of a saintly mind. And everything else.
But the more saintly mind has to know myself, who I am.
Right.
Demoniac mind thinks that my ego and my power and material My identification is everything for me. This false ego is a demoniac mind. Mind
Yeah,
one,
that is a negative. Yes, Gurudev?
yeah, is a negative way of going. But it depends upon the desire. If we have desire like this, then we do that.
Yeah, the first thing is to check my desire, where my desire is going, and to follow that desire and to go into that kind of association where there is the same desires for divine love and divine service.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the false ego can snatch very quickly. I am doing it. I am on top of the world. I am the boss. I am the boss, or whatever. I am the most qualified. But actually, in Bhakti, it's all about service and trying to help each other become more and more immersed into that service to others and to serve Srimati Radhika in that feeling. Jai Ho. And then Srimati Radhika will smile and Gurudev will smile and all the Vaishnavas smile because they are all satisfied with such a soul who really wants to go back to their original soul body and soul being and soul feeling. Should I continue reading, Gurudev?
Yeah.
So more about Srimati Radhika's qualities. The sweet smile we had, now she is endowed or decorated with beautiful and auspicious lines. Auspicious lines. She has many marks on her fingers, on her hands, and on her feet. They are very attractive and they are very extraordinary beautiful. Her bodily fragrance maddens Mohan or Krishna. Even her smell is full of Prem because she is nothing else but Prem. So that smell, it comes from her. That smell of love, that smell of the highest desire to please her beloved, it takes a smell. So it's not only a fragrance, but it's full of desires to please Mohan. So sometimes, Gurudev, I remember that we take the Maha cotton swab from Radha Mohan, and there is some very nice fragrance on it that was offered to Radha Mohan, and they distribute. And that is always one of the most blissful services because we are like distributing the bodily fragrance of Srimati Radhika and Mohan. And that is also very maddening. It makes very happy, this beautiful fragrance and that feeling to also distribute a good fragrance everywhere. I remember that is always something that is a very good check-up for myself also when I'm speaking or when I'm thinking and feeling what kind of fragrance are coming from my words. What kind of fragrance is my mind emanating? What kind of fragrance am I giving to everyone around me? So means fragrance here also means the feeling of love and the mood of love. And that's why, because Krishna or Mohan is only attracted by divine fragrance of love. When he smells the fragrance of Srimati, he becomes very overwhelmed and mad. And the manjaris, they do it when they are fanning with the chamara or with the peacock fan. They fan in this way, very, very expertly, that the smell of Srimati Radhika's fragrance will come into Mohan's nostril. And that makes him so happy and makes him so overwhelmed that sometimes he will faint. So that is the service that the manjaris know how to do. They take the smell of Srimati Radhika's love and of their love to her, and they distribute it wherever they go. They will exchange on how to make fragrance. And they are asking each other, how can we serve Srimati Radhika? How can we serve Shri Gurudev in a fragrant and very loving way that everyone will feel the atmosphere of a sweet scent of love? That is the scent of Srimati Radhika's love. That is transferred from one dasi to the next dasi, and it's coming not only by perfumes, but it comes through words, it comes through sounds, through singing, and even through eyes. Srimati Radhika is expert in singing, and she speaks very charmingly. Her singing is so full of love and so full of devotion that everyone's heart is melting when they hear how Srimati Radhika is singing. She is singing for her dasis also. She is teaching all the manjaris songs, because there are moments where the girls, the little girls, the dasis, they have to sing a special melody, a special tune, and a special song in their services. And then Srimati Radhika will teach them, and nobody else will be there. And Srimati Radhika is playing the veena. And when she starts singing and playing the veena, then the dasi, she is so much in love that she will listen and learn the song by one listening, or one time of listening. And I remember, Gurudev, in Vilapa Kushmanjali, there is this beautiful Leela explained when Srimati Radhika goes in the cave in Govardhan Hill, and she is teaching her little dasi, her servant, how to play or sing to her veena play, and she is singing a love song for Mohan. And somehow Mohan is so attracted by that, he came and he hid himself. And then also Mohan is listening to that love song. And then he is coming and showing himself, and he's asking Srimati Radhika, oh, who is that song for? What was that song? For whom have you played? And then Srimati Radhika says, why do you need to know? And like this, they are playing with each other in a loving way. And one time also, there's another Leela, because all these pastimes, they have so many varieties. They are similar situations, but different varieties, because in the spiritual world, in the spiritual dimension, everything is ever fresh. Not only Srimati Radhika and Mohan and all of Vrindavan is ever fresh, but all the circumstances of their meeting and of their games is always ever fresh. And one time also Radha and Mohan are teaching the manjaris, and then they are checking the manjari if she can play the song nicely. And then after that, they are very happy, and they both give a big blessing to the Manjari, and they give her some prasad. What kind of prasad? That is also many of, possibilities. Sometimes she will get some garland, or sometimes she will get an embrace of Srimati Radhika, or she will get also, clothes. Because the Manjaris, they always take the prasad of Srimati Radhika's dresses. That's why they smell like her. They want to smell in the same love as Srimati Radhika. They only take prasad clothes from her, prasadi clothes. So Radha and Krishna, when they see how Tulsi Manjari, in that case of Vilap Kushmanjali, she's learning how to play a song in one listening, and she's so expert, they become very happy. And they feel so much pleasure by seeing the expert singing or dancing in service of the Manjari. And that all comes from the expert singing of Srimati Radhika and the charmingly, expressing so many jokes in so many ways that always make everyone laugh. That speaking charmingly, it is also a great art. Nowadays, people who are not practicing to have a saintly mind, and I also belong to that unfortunate category, we are sometimes practicing to speak harsh words. But these words are like swords. And they are, swords who are cutting. And cutting the hearts of the listeners. Because we have not developed so much the saintly mind and the saintly speaking. So all these things, if it would be singing or if it would be speaking, they need to be also become purified, become charmingly, become sweet, and become expert. So that's why we are in the school of Bhakti. We want to become expert in all different arts so that we can develop them more and more and connect them to our services in our meditation, when we are meditating, in our chanting, but also in our day-to-day life, which is not separate from that, because our inner and our outer will become one. And I always remember that famous wisdom that came from you, Gurudev, and we had a nice picture with that when it says, outside will change when inside will change. Right? It comes from inside, the change that we are aspiring for, the sweetness and the softness and the charming and the positivity. It comes from inside, from our meditations, from our inner hearts, jewels, and it will shine through our whole being. And in the day, it shines outside. And then we can automatically give up some qualities that I feel are not so much fit for my meditation anymore, like harsh speaking or ego trips or judgments or any kind of things that any one of us feel it's due to let go of it. It's time to let go, because I want to develop, like Gurudev says, the saintly mind. And for that, I need to develop saintly qualities inside and outside as much as possible. And by the help of my friends, by the help of my Gurudev, it will go better and better, and it will become inside beautiful in my heart and outside also very beautiful. I will develop all the qualities that Swamini will give to me as her prasad. Jai Shri Radhe. So Srimati Radhika speaks charmingly, and she is expert in joking. She is very, very funny personality, our Swamini. She knows the best jokes. And sometimes she is using her dasis to make jokes to Krishna. And sometimes she's really making him very much embarrassed. Because, Krishna, he always thinks he is the best. So he always tries to show off to everyone because he is such a, good cowherd boy. But often he loses games, like in chess. They play chess together, Radha and Krishna. And then sometimes when Srimati Radhika is, winning the chess game, then she is giving a wink to her other friends to make jokes about Krishna. And then they say, Krishna, this chess game is for people who have some intelligence. But we know you are coming from the cows. You can only use your stick and you say hi, hi, hi to make the cows move. But you are not so good in these intelligent games. So like this, they make jokes. But these jokes are not for cutting down, but always to increase the funny atmosphere of the love that is flowing between them. And there are many, many leelas where the jokes are, expertly exchanged. And we are also, when you come to Vrindavan, when we are sitting with Gurudev in the room, we also have a lot of fun. We are also in the joking mood. Many, many jokes are exchanged, and there's always a happy atmosphere of charming jokes. So Srimati Radhika is humble. That is also such a nice quality, the shining humility of Swamini. And how does she show her humility? She always feels that everyone else can serve Mohan better than herself. That is her beautiful glory of humility. She's never thinking, I am the best servant. She always feels that others are serving him much better. And I want to learn from them. I want to serve him. Sometimes she is so much in her feelings of separation that she says, the cows, they are so lucky. They can be with Krishna all the time. They don't have to hide like me. I have to hide myself. I'm always having problems to come, from Jatila's or Kutila's influence. They always have an eye on me. I'm so much restricted by these two relatives, and I can never flow freely to see my beloved. Or she says, the clouds are so lucky. They can always fly wherever Mohan is. And sometimes when they are so, when it's so hot in Vrindavan, then they can just dribble some very nice rain on Mohan, and they can serve him all the time. They can be with him all the time. They can see him all the time. And like this, Srimati Radhika is so humble and filled with compassion. And she is also wanting all souls to take this position of becoming servants of the divine again. And that compassion or that humility is also mostly expressed in our wonderful Prema avatar, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Shri Gaura Sundara, because he came in that mood of humility and compassion, and he distributed that love, that Unata Ujvala Ras, that highest level of love that any living being, any soul could ever get, which was not available before, because Srimati Radhika is giving all her compassion in that Gauranga avatar. And she is giving it freely. She is not judging. Because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, oh, if you do 10 steps to me, I will do 10 steps to you. So it's more or less like you have to first make 10 steps. But Srimati Radhika, she's not even asking for 10 steps. As Gauranga, she says, Nitai, go and distribute this holy name in all the 3 worlds, in every town and in village. This holy name will be distributed freely and no costs. So she is distributing her love and her compassion freely and no qualification needed. The only qualification, what Gurudev you mentioned, is to have this desire, to have some feeling for that, some greed, to develop our saintly hearts and saintly minds in the mercy flow of Srimati Radhika's divine love. So she's humble. She feels that everyone loves my Mohan more than me. And she is so compassionate. She wants that everyone can feel that love and feel that service. And she distributes it as Chaitanya. And she is clever. She's very clever. She is even helping the souls who are not so much attracted to become attracted by her love. She is just so clever. She can easily sway and, make all the souls happy in the holy names and happy in the golden flow of her love. It's very clever like that. She is dexterous. She's very, very artful with her hands. And she has many, many skills. She is the best cook. And she can do all the best decoration. She is decorating the kunj, making such a beautiful kunj. Sometimes the kunj is golden. And Srimati Radhika is also so decorated that we can forget our material consciousness and just immerse into the beauty of Radha Mohan and their kunj. She is bashful. That also is together with her humility. She will never show off. Here in this world, we often want to show off to make ourselves feel very valuable. But Srimati Radhika, she is never showing off. She is always hiding herself. She always never wants to, be better than others. She always says others are better than me. She is very shy and she never puts herself on anybody's expense. Sometimes we have a tendency to make expense, like we make a joke and somebody else is hurt by it. But Srimati Radhika never does this because she only sees the love and the good qualities in everyone. And that's why because she is respectful. She's very respectful also to her mother-in-law, to her grandmother, and especially also to Mother Yashoda and Ma Rohini Ma and Nanda Baba. Srimati Radhika always bows down to all of them and always is begging their mercy so that she can cook nicely for Mohan and for all of them. So she is very, very respectful, and we can learn also how to be respectful to each other and to our Gurudev and all our Vaishnavas from how Srimati Radhika is respectful to everyone. And she is very grave. As much as she can joke, as much she can also be very grave. And she is a very deep personality. And with that grave, deep personality, and no one can read her mind. She also has to be so grave, because when she's cooking in Mother Yashoda's kitchen, then she has to sometimes go out and serve with the kinkaries, or she helps Mother Yashoda or Maureen to serve. So then she has to be so grave. She can never let anyone guess how much she loves her Mohan. And she is very patient. She can be so patient for all the souls to come back to their original position. She is Ladini Shakti. And Srila Prabhupada says that we are in abnormal position when we are here in this material world, in these material bodies, and not connected to Ladini Shakti. We are abnormal, we are very independent, and we are in illusion. We are covered by illusion so easily. But by the mercy of Srimati Radhika, who is patiently also waiting and patiently sending all her dasi to this world, she is sending Rupa Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, Srinivas Acharya. She is sending Radha Govinda Das Babaji. She is sending all these special souls, all her dasis to this planet. And she is finally sending my Gurudev to help me to come back to my saintly mind and heart. So she is patient. She is not pushing the souls, but she is inviting the souls, chanting herself as Gauranga, this Mahamantra, inviting them all to come back to their normal position and serving in Ananda. Radhe, Radhe. If anyone would like to share, I'm just bubbling. Somebody would like to share on beautiful qualities of Srimati Radhika? I'm sorry. She's very playful. Everything she does is so light, and every step she takes is like a dance. And she's playful, she is joking, she is very always playing in the heart of Mohan. And her name is Devi, means she is very playful. And she is also waiting to dance in our hearts and to invite us to that spiritual existence and become also playful ourselves and become small again and very innocent. And Srimati Radhika is filled with Mahabhav. She is Mahabhav. She is that highest emotion. She is, if you want to say so, the embodiment of the highest emotion possible in whole existence. She's fulfilling all the desires for Krishna and also for all the living entities. And if the living entities want to go back to their normal position, they take shelter of Srimati Radhika's Ladini, of her Ananda, her blissful existence, and serving her, connecting with her. That is her mercy. She is a resident of Gokula's love. She is loved by everyone in Vrindavan. everyone in Vrindavan loves Srimati Radhika. The whole of Vrindavan is the place where Radha and Mohan meet and where they have their wonderful, wonderful exchange of love in the mood of Parakiya Bhav, of a hidden or forbidden love. And everyone loves them. Everyone loves Radha and Krishna. And that's why her fame pervades the whole universe. She is known in the whole universe. And you know why? Because love is higher than God. Gurudev was giving this example, especially in the first years when we were traveling together in the Western European countries. Then he always said, the kingdom of God is very great. The kingdom of God is very special. But the kingdom of love is higher. Because in the name of God, many people are quarreling. In the name of God, many are, fighting even. My God, your God, Christian, Hindu, Muslim, my religion, your religion. But in the name of love, everyone will be united. And Gurudev gave this example. He said, if you are counting the whole world, maybe some are believing in God and some are not. Maybe some 50 or 60% are, devotees or God conscious. They have their religions, and maybe 40% will not believe in any God. Because they say it's all too much and they are all fighting in religion, and I don't believe that any God will like it. But if we talk about love, if we talk about the qualities of love and being a loving person, we can see that even the plants have love. They are always searching the light. And we can see that even the animals have love. They are exchanging love. They are living beings who are ready to love and to give love. And that's why in the name of love, Gurudev explains, there's no quarrels and no war, because everyone wants to be loved and share love. That is why Srimati Radhika's fame pervades the whole universe. It is actually all coming from the glories of love and living in that glory of serving love. That is what we try to be and try to do in our Bhakti Yoga teachings and efforts and sharings. She is subdued by her girlfriend's love for her. She is the best of Krishna's sweethearts, and Keshava, or Krishna, is always subdued by her. So these are so many good qualities, unlimited, wonderful good qualities. And these were only 25, because the subject was that in Madhura Ras, in that sweetness of serving Radha and Mohan, we meditate on 25 attributes, because these are the sweetest of the sweet. But they are also incountable and unlimited. But just like by speaking about them, we get blissed out. Right. Our Sachinandan Bhaiya, you can also help us. He has to leave. Okay, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.